Yep, this isn't clickbait. Today, we're throwing away our rose-colored glasses because we're gonna need nostalgia goggles for this video. A lot of my viewers are probably thinking to themselves, hey man, this is a pretty ambitious video idea. Also, shouldn't you be saving this for a milestone or special occasion? Also, doesn't this sort of eliminate the possibility of doing tons of other top cartoon videos in the future? Well, yes, but it's been about a month since I returned, so I guess this video serves as somewhat of a thank you for the kind support you all have given me. I absolutely love reading the comments, and I've found more motivation from looking at them, so thank you again, and I appreciate it a lot. I know I shouldn't have to explain myself for this otherwise self-explanatory video topic, but I'm going to do it anyway. This is all just my opinion, and I'm not saying that I think X show is objectively better than Y show if it's higher up on the list. I'm just letting you know what my favorite cartoons are. With some of the cartoons in this video still ongoing, and the fact that I continually rewatch and discover other cartoons, I don't expect this list to be permanent, and it might be outdated within the next year or two. Also, I rewatched a few episodes from each series just to refresh myself on how I feel about them. But with all of that said, let's start off the rankings by showing you my obligatory list of honorable mentions that didn't make the cut. Believe it or not, I wasn't really a fan of the movie that started it all. I mean, I don't think it's bad, but it never quite latched onto me like the TV series did. If I'm being entirely honest, I don't know the exact reason why I love this weird show so much, but there's definitely a lot to love about it. I still think Jimmy Neutron is a hilarious show. Sheen and Carl serve as great supplements to Jimmy's rather focused and straightforward personality, and of course you can't forget about fan favorite Bobby Stroganovsky, or my personal favorite source of humor in the show, Jimmy's dad. Aside from all the times the characters' odd behaviors and interests were made fun of, there was also a lot of pop culture references that I'm sure flew right over my head when I was younger, and the occasional risque joke that got thrown in.
Yeah, I don't mind. Once when I was 7 years old, I sat on a banana, and of course, that changed my life.
The animation was decent, especially for being CGI animated content on TV in the 2000s, and I think the semi-retro aesthetic made it more visually appealing. Obviously, the animation isn't the best, and you'll find some instances of stiff movement or less detailed characters and backgrounds, but with all of the explorations the characters went on in different environments, it seems understandable that some were more detailed than others. And I also think the animation naturally improved as the show progressed. I would say that Jimmy Neutron is somewhat educational, but I reconsider saying that when I remember all of the bizarre and totally unrealistic things that happened. In itself, the concept of a virtuoso child scientist using wacky inventions to solve his problems is a pretty cool idea, but that mixed together with a cast of charismatic characters and creative inventions makes for an entertaining cartoon. For those of you that don't know, there was a spin-off of Jimmy Neutron that was released in 2010 called Planet Sheen, and I'll be talking about that more in an upcoming video. I'll post it either this upcoming week or the week after that. Let's just say it hasn't been fun forcing myself to go through all 26 episodes. I discovered Rick and Morty shortly after it premiered and keeping up with the current landscape of cartoons as a reviewer, and I never expected it to get as popular as it did. I just thought it was going to be a niche single-season Adult Swim show that would be remembered as an overlooked gem, but man, was I wrong. And it's understandable why it's so popular. Interesting and relatable characters? We got it. Cold-blooded yet zany and quirky humor? We got it. The exploration and portrayal of emotional struggles like existentialism, alcoholism, and conformity? We got it. It's not the first sci-fi comedy cartoon to do a lot of these things, but it certainly has taken a unique approach at doing so. I know a lot of people think Justin Roiland's brand of humor is annoying or even lazy, and I'd agree in saying that it's not very sophisticated since most of the time it's just him drunkenly stuttering and saying a bunch of nonsensical things in a VO booth, but I really don't care because I find it super funny. I think the first season and most of the second are absolutely amazing, but I was super disappointed by season 3. I only thoroughly enjoyed 2 or 3 episodes from that entire season and felt especially let down by the finale. Like with Pickle Rick, the joke that Rick turned himself into a pickle is kind of funny at first, but then I feel like that meshing with the action plot mixed in with the family counseling and that trying to take itself somewhat seriously, I just think they took a simple and mundane joke too far. The toxic portion of the Rick and Morty fanbase is a vocal minority and isn't representative of most fans or the people who work on the show, but it has gotten a little frustrating seeing certain Rick and Morty fans say or do something stupid, only for others to mock and imitate that stupid behavior, sometimes looking more stupid than the original person. In regards to my overall thoughts, and similar to how I feel about the fan base, I hope it gets better as time goes on and doesn't lose what made it special in the first place. Also, I tried McDonald's Szechuan sauce a couple months ago. It wasn't that great.
Wow, this sauce is f***ing amazing. You said it was promoting a movie?
I'm so glad that Cartoon Network started airing reruns of this show again because it's filling a void in this current generation of cartoons. Based on the supergroup from DC Comics, Teen Titans was one of the many action superhero cartoons airing at the time, like Justice League, The Batman, and Static Shock, but Teen Titans was definitely distinguishable from the rest. The action was really solid, and it was balanced well alongside plot building and comedic interventions. The anime-inspired aesthetic works really well, especially with the comedic outbursts that some of the characters would have. Speaking of which, the series was a little bit more upbeat when it started, but as it continued and developed relationships, character arcs, and deeper themes, it took on a more serious tone. Each character had their own issues, and the series took time to explore them. Starfire assimilating into society while not trying to forget her origins, Cyborg dealing with the consequences of being both man and machine, Raven's psychological problems and disputes with her father, and the list goes on. There is a chance that a Season 6 could happen, but I'm curious how that would turn out with the landscape of animation at the moment. We already have a new Young Justice season coming out too, so I'm definitely looking forward to that as well.
What? That's how it ends? And there is no 6th season to resolve the plots hanging from the cliff?
You ended that show? You monster.
What more can you say about this show that already hasn't been said? I'm fairly certain that SpongeBob is single-handedly the most iconic cartoon of our generation. He's a character that's recognizable on an international scale and has easily been Nickelodeon's biggest cash cow. There's tons of clothing, accessories, food, figurines, video games, and even a Broadway musical, all derived from a cartoon about a fry-cooked sea sponge and his anthropomorphic sea creature friends that live in an underwater city called Bikini Bottom. The distinct premise lent itself to a lot of really interesting ideas, like in the episode Pressure, and though it borrowed some things from other cartoons like Ren and Stimpy, it was fairly experimental in its first couple seasons. It's a hilarious cartoon, full of legendary visual gags and an endless amount of quotes that still get recited on a regular basis. It's no surprise that there's been a lot of popular memes either, and I think some young people definitely acquired their sense of humor from what they saw on SpongeBob. The use of music is also great, and I have the lyrics from songs like Sweet Victory, the Campfire Song, and Ripped Pants ingrained into my head. Comparable to others, I'm a fan of the first 3 seasons, but wasn't really a fan of anything beyond that. There's some things that I liked from those following seasons, but I actually haven't watched SpongeBob since Season 6. As the crew underwent major changes, I think the characters got a little dumbed down, and the show became more repetitive in the process. Now that it's had 2 theatrical movies and 11 seasons over the span of nearly 20 years, I think it's fair to say that SpongeBob has run its course. But from what I've heard among many current SpongeBob fans, the past few seasons have been decent, so maybe they do have more interesting stories to tell. They're releasing another SpongeBob movie in 2020 set to be directed by Tim Hill, known for directing such critical hits as Hop, Alvin and the Chipmunks, and perhaps his most notable film, Garfield: A Tale of Two Kitties. If you want further thoughts on SpongeBob, I'm no expert on the show, but my friend Pie Guy Rules is, so I'd highly suggest checking out his SpongeBob videos and his every episode of SpongeBob Reviewed series.
There you are, mister. Just what do you think you're
Hello,
doing?
Dad! It's me, Butters!
I know that. What do you...
This is for all the times I got grounded!
Oh! Oh! Oh!
Ha! I could almost feel his balls on my fist!
For the past 20 years, South Park has continued to offer social commentary on relevant issues and deliver such commentary over comedic characters and situations. However, since the introduction of the season-long serialized story arcs in Season 19, I haven't liked it as much. Not only because they're trying to make meaningful story arcs with formerly expendable characters and the show hasn't been as funny, but the story arcs themselves aren't that compelling either. In reference to some of the weaker comedy in recent seasons, there's the Member Berries, which are clearly there to make fun of the annoying yet popular aspects of the 2010s nostalgia craze, but there's not really anything more to them.
Oh, and remember Bionic Man?
Oh, I remember.
I loved Bionic Man. Remember Chewbacca again? Oh, I love to remember Chewbacca.
Pretty much everything prior to the most recent seasons, though, I love. It's amazing when they take a topic of relative importance and exaggerate it for the sake of comedy. Like, the episode Pokemon makes fun of the Pokemon craze that happened in America during the late 90s. But they clearly hyperbolize it by having the producers of Pokemon use the merchandise as a way to make American children become Japanese child soldiers. Not to mention, Chimpoko also translates to a pretty inappropriate Japanese phrase. Then there's episodes like Trapped in the Closet, where they're already exploring a rather extreme topic, so they just let the subject matter speak for itself. South Park always makes me laugh, and unless the show continues going down the rabbit hole it's been going through recently, I see it remaining on the air for as long as there's societal issues to make fun of.
Come on down to South Park and meet some friends of mine.
Hey guys, I wasn't expecting this project to be split into 2 parts, but I decided to do that after realizing how long it would have taken me to make the entire project in the matter of a week. I'll have the second part up Friday, and the following week after that is my Planet Sheen review, and I have a lot of other really cool videos in the works that I'm looking forward to sharing with you. Thanks for watching, give me some feedback, and maybe guess what you think the top 5 are going to be in the comments, and have a spectacular day.